Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another tropical forecast here on Tropical Storm Isaias. We actually have huge updates, and this is actually including the potential of an eye developing on this tropical storm as it's just north of the DR coast here. We now have a ton of convection. We now have an official closed eye wall, and we may have an eye forming. So this could very well become very close to a hurricane. National Hurricane Center just updated now. It is soon becoming a hurricane. Also, very, very likely now a very high risk for a Carolina landfall. And the possibility for Florida seeing a landfall have kind of diminished a little bit more as we are seeing a little bit more of an eastward trend. And this storm is now bringing a very big risk now for the Bahamas. The Bahamas are now at a way higher risk for seeing extreme storms and extreme winds and flooding and all of that, sadly, even though they just got Dorian less than a year ago. So if you're in the Bahamas, you definitely really want to watch the end of the video. We have major updates as it would possibly take in a lot sharper of a northwestern turn sooner, and that will impact more of the Bahamas, less of Florida, and then also more of Carolinas and less of Florida. Without further ado, let's get into major updates in this tropical and hurricane forecast. Here's a look now at the National Hurricane Center. Here we have Tropical Storm Isaias. This is actually false, guys. I hate to say it. This storm is actually off the coast of the Dominican Republic. Guys, I don't know what's going on with the National Hurricane Center right now. I have no idea what is going on with the National Hurricane Center. They are just, I don't know what they're doing. If they're just playing around right now. But this thing is not. This thing is actually off the coast of the Dominican Republic. And I will show you in satellite imagery. It is not over Dominican Republic right now. And sadly, the new update, they're only showing 60 miles an hour right now. There's no way this storm has a closed eye wall and a official forming eye only at 60 miles an hour. I'm sorry, National Hurricane Center. I'm really sorry at this point. But there's no way. You're telling me, I'm not saying this is a hurricane. I mean, maybe 70 miles an hour. At least 65. There's no way this is only 60 miles an hour. But we will see with the next update here. This thing is possibly at the first phase of RI, which means rapid intensification. I believe it has to go down. I think it has to strengthen 25 miles an hour. 25 miles an hour within 24 hours here, and also drop in a lot of pressure here. But this is possibly in the beginning of a phase here. But look at that, now at 999 millibars, we just entered now triple digits, and it's now moving northwest at 20 miles an hour there as well. So really big updates to things, as I believe now 19.9 degrees north, so it is definitely now taking a lot more sharper northwestern turn. The reason why Florida is not at a higher risk right now is because it's really strengthening a lot, which means it's going to take that northwestern turn sooner, and possibly going to bring in less impacts for Florida, or it's going to be further off the coast in Florida, which means less impacts. But we now have tropical storm watches for the southeastern coast of Florida, and I think we could see tropical storm warnings for a portion of the central Florida coast very, very soon here. This will still bring tropical storm force winds. I just don't think it's going to be as bad. I don't think we're going to be seeing hurricane force winds for Florida. If it's going to bring in hurricane force winds anywhere, it'll probably be central coast instead of southeastern coast there. Here's a look at satellite imagery. You're about to see it. You guys are going to open your mouth when you guys see this eye. Look at this right here. Let me actually move my screen a little bit right here. Look at this right here. We now have an eye developing right now. Look at this convection right there. Look at that. We now have an eye developing north of Dominican Republic. Actually, look at that. Right there. This low pressure is not even close to being inland. It's right here. This is right there. It is north of Dominican Republic. So that's that. It is not overland, which what the National Hurricane Center is showing it being overland right now, but it's not. And that's based on satellite imagery, which updates every 30 seconds. Look at that banding. This banding is absolutely beautiful. This banding. It is so defined, this banding. We now have a very well defined eye wall with all this convection. Look at that blowing up of convection. That's because that's where we're going to be seeing most of the vorticity right there, and that's surrounding that low pressure. The reason why we are seeing an eye right now is because the eye wall has finished closing up, which means the next process after that is the eye. Look at this cloud cover though. It's absolutely crazy. This storm is so big. This tropical storm wind extends so big as well. This thing's absolutely crazy how it's only 60 miles an hour, yet it has an eye developing in a fully closed eye wall with blowing up of convection. I think when recon goes in there later, they're possibly going to find 70 miles an hour on this storm, but The banding's mental, the circulation mental, the convection's mental. This thing has a very well, this thing definitely has a very nice form to it. Let's go and check out further out satellite imagery. Look at the size of the storm. It is very, very large for a tropical storm. It will definitely cover up all of the Florida area, really. Look at that eye right there that's develops right. You can see it peaks up right there. Boom, there we got the eye. And as you see, the low pressure is now over Dominican Republic. It actually, I think it went like this. This is what it did. Actually went like this. This is what the storm's doing. I don't think it ever made landfall in Dominican Republic, but the National Center showed that it did. The National Center showed it making landfall in the Dominican Republic. It never did, guys. It never made landfall in the National Center is showing that for some reason. The reason why I'm showing that is because the National Center did not follow up this huge northern track where the storm was found a lot more to the north. This low pressure system was found right here this morning in between Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, and now it's going up near the coast there, and now it's possibly going to go like this. That's possibly the incoming track. So yes, we have tropical storm. We now have tropical storm watches for southeastern Florida. It's because it's going to bring, there's a possibility it's going to be tropical storm force winds in those areas, because it's going to be further off the coast. But here we got the banding right there. Beautiful banding right there. And then we got the low pressure right there. In the center of this convection right here. So there we got this beautiful tropical storm with a very well eye wall defined with a blowing up of convection there. It's absolutely crazy. Here's the new National Hurricane Center update. Here it is. Let me actually move a little bit like that. There we go. Here it is. Now showing a hurricane. So for those people who told me this probably won't be a hurricane, even the National Hurricane Center shows it, and they tend to underestimate storms. So they tend to underestimate storms, yet their shows now showing a hurricane. So for those people who said this won't be a hurricane, there you go, guys. There you go. And we got these tropical storm watches now for portions of southeastern Florida, the coast. We have Miami's now under a tropical storm watch. Homestead's under tropical storm watch. The northern Keys are under tropical storm watch. Jupiter, West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale. We also have areas like Hialeah as well. Hollywood, you guys are all under those tropical storm watches. When you mean, just think with the tornado watch, it means you have to watch out for a tornado. But with this, it means you have to watch out with tropical storm force winds. So it's not a warning where you are possibly going to be seeing tropical storm force winds. It's just a watch. I think if we're going to see tropical storm warnings very soon for that area, like I said, look how close it gets to the central coast of Florida. That's exactly what I'm saying. If anywhere it's going to be seeing tropical storm warnings and hurricane force winds, it would possibly be north of Jupiter, possibly be north of West Palm Beach. There it is, going to get very, very close at the point where it's between Sunday 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. Look how it kind of really, really slows down. That's exactly why you can possibly see a huge RI between the Bahamas and between North Carolina, which means rapid intensification, which means 25-mile-an-hour drop within 24 hours, handed to 35 miles an hour within 24 hours. This will be a very big threat here for the North Carolina area. They're still not showing a big Wilmington landfall, but they are showing an Outer Banks landfall here, which is still catastrophic, or will still be a very big threat. That's going to bring in a big threat as well for the Northeast. The Northeast, you guys are going to be seeing a big threat as well. This is possibly bringing big impacts. Look how big this tropical storm wind extent is. It's possibly maybe the radius of Georgia. So if we add that, let's add that. It's possibly be like this. I will say New York City. You guys up in Long Island, Atlantic City, you guys can possibly see tropical storm force winds and maybe tropical storm watches. This is absolutely crazy. And it's going to make landfall as a Category 1 based on the National Hurricane Center. They've been underestimating this the whole time, the whole life. I think this can make landfall as a Category 3 or Category 2. We now have tropical storm watches, though, for all the Bahamas, including the Big Island. So if you're near Nassau, if you're near Freeport, if you're near anywhere in those areas of the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, you're at a way bigger threat here. As you see, National Hurricane Center does show it actually going east of the Big Island of the Bahamas, which is what I'm saying. It's going to be a lot further off the coast of Florida than we think, but it will get very, very close next to the point where it's in central Florida coast. That's the only reason why I think we'd be seeing tropical storm, hurricane watches. If anything, we'll be seeing hurricane watches at most, not hurricane warnings. Let's check out tropical tidbits right here. As you see, here's the cone. It's mainly all of it's going to go east of the Bahama Islands. If you're wondering why it's going to be doing that, it's because it's going to be taking a huge direct northwestern turn because it is rapidly organizing and strengthening a lot. And maybe that's why I'm saying the National Center underestimating this. There's no way this is 60 miles an hour, which is the exact this is the exact same as it was earlier today. So there's no way it would take that huge northwestern turn unless it was rapidly intensifying or rapidly organizing. Let me move my webcam to the center again. There's absolutely no way this storm is the same miles an hour, but it's taking a huge northwestern turn, which we all knew it is when it does that intensification. So I think this thing's strong as 60 miles an hour. I've called out the National Hurricane Center many times, multiple times in this storm. I'll do it again if I have to. I think this could be 65, if not 70 miles an hour, not 75. Maybe getting close to 75. But this is the cone right there for the center of the storm, not the not like impacts. The center of the storm, I think, boom, right there. Actually, that's like the worst kind I've ever seen in my life. This is possibly for the center of the storm here, the cone, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There's the cone for the storm. But this is kind of what all the tracks are showing. That's kind of what the tracks are showing. Like I said, I've been saying for the past coming days, I've said, since it became an invest, I said North Carolina, and then I said Wilmington, North Carolina. Models are getting a lot closer to Wilmington, but they mainly show landfall there for the Outer Banks and that far eastern part of North Carolina there. But we do have 1 or 2 models making landfall in Wilmington, which is a pretty big improvement there. Let's go and check out now the tracks here on another website here. As you see, they show it as well, going east of the big island of the Bahamas, which means it's going to be a lot further off the coast. But it gets a lot closer to the point where it's near West Palm Beach, or where it's to the point where it is near that area near Jupiter. It's going to get really, really close here. As you see, it's going to be way off the coast of Florida because it's going to be going on the other side of the big island of the Bahamas. But then it gets very close right here. So if there's going to be any strong winds for Florida, it'll be right there for the central area of the central coast there. But as you see, big possibilities for the North Carolina area. I think South Carolina has been out of the possibility for the past 24 hours there. But either Wilmington, Kitty Hawk, you guys are kind of the biggest cities for a direct landfall. Let's go and check out another path here, which I think this is actually very, very accurate. Let me tell you guys, this is extremely accurate. A lot of these models show it hitting Wilmington. I think Wilmington's still going to be the landfall, you know. I think it's going to be a southern coast, southern North Carolina coast instead of Outer Banks coast. I think it's going to be at least near Wilmington. It can be south or north. If it's going to be anything, it's probably going to be north of Wilmington. As you see, these models show it not hitting Florida, going kind of off the coast, and then boom, right towards North Carolina. I think if you're in Wilmington, still be on the lookout. If you're in Wilmington, I'll actually get ready. Ready. I think if you're in Outer Banks, you should be ready. If you're in Raleigh, you guys are going to be seeing very big impacts. And if you're in Virginia Beach, get ready. If you're in New York City, possibly be ready for some really strong winds. Here's another track here. Look at this. All these models going east of the big island of the Bahamas. And then boom, possibly heading to the North Carolina area. This is like, I don't know how many malls are on this. So some of these malls are still hitting Florida, but these are like 50 models here. So it's kind of a huge change, obviously, there. But look at that. Boom. Possibly for the North Carolina area. Either way, the majority are showing it going off the majority of these models are showing it not hitting Florida. The majority are showing it hitting North Carolina to South Carolina. Let's look at the intensity guidance now. Like I said earlier this morning, that more models will slowly but surely get to Category 1 force winds. And here we go. Look at that. Look at that. Once again, look at that. I said it, and boom, there it is. A lot more models are now getting to that Category 1, if not Category 2 force wind extent. I think this could get to a Category 3. There it is at 50 knots to 50 miles an hour. I think this could be at 60 knots right now. I think this could be at 60 knots. And I wouldn't even rule out the possibility. This could be a hurricane, in my opinion, as early as the next 24 hours. I know only one model is showing that really, but trust me on this, guys. I think this could be as early as a hurricane with the next 24 hours. I really think that's extremely likely. But now let's go and check out now the models here. Here's now a look at the GFS model here. The GFS hasn't been the best model with this storm, but it's getting a bit better. Here it is at 600, not 600, 600 millibars. That's crazy. 600 millibars. Wow. 999 millibars there. It's going to be strengthening possibly to 997. There it is, going east of the Big Island. and then going to get a lot closer to Florida at 989 millibars, and then possibly making landfall in the, I believe, between the Outer Banks and Wilmington area. Yeah, it's going to possibly make landfall kind of the southern Outer Banks at 973 millibars. And that's going to be a category, a very strong category 2, if not a very weak category 3. So GFS is showing a very, very impressive storm. Let's check out the nav gem now. Actually, that's CMC. I haven't checked the CMC all day today. So finally, CMC. Oh gosh, don't even look at the CMC. I wouldn't even look at. You know what? Cut the cameras. We're not looking at CMC anymore. Oh gosh, this is sad what the CMC is still showing. Nav gem. Look at this. Straining a lot there. Nav gem. Boom. Gonna be at 994 millibars before cutting off to the north. As you see, it's gonna get very, very close to that Florida area. Yeah, it's gonna go east of the Bahamas. That's why I'm saying only tropical storm watches for southeastern Florida. Look how close it gets for central coast of Florida. That's where we'll be seeing tropical storm warnings, if not hurricane watches. And then there's Navgen making landfall just up the coast of Wilmington at 982, and then going into the Outer Banks, and then that's going to go up the East Coast. Like I'm saying, this could be an East Coast rider after it hits North Carolina. And then we can check out now the Icon here. Icon, I believe, has been very, very good in the past updates. A huge improvement there. It's making a comeback. There it is. Actually, let me just say it's making a comeback with the path, not the strength. You know what? Let's not even look at Icon for the strength, guys. Oh my gosh, what is going on here? GFS 10-meter winds. There it is. Next 6 hours, I believe. What is that? 50 miles an hour. So GFS still underestimating the next coming hours, but it is gonna be really strengthening a lot here, very, very soon. The GFS. Wow, wowza! Look at that. That is a very big storm compared to what they showed. Look at that. Look at that. That's way over 80 miles an hour. That's a very big storm for the GFS, possibly over Category 3. And that's going to be really, really devastating that area for the North Carolina area. And then we'll be checking out the, let's check out the, what is it, NavGem. Let's check out the NavGem and the winds here. Look, there it is. It's going to bring, like I said, it's going to bring the worst winds for the areas that got impacted by Dorian. Look at that. Possibly, what, 65 miles an hour. And then, boom, over the North Carolina area. So this is actually very, very impressive here, and very big impacts here. Let's go and check out. Let's be curious and look at what the GFS is showing here on 10 meters. I kind of want to see what it's showing on 10 meters, if that's what it is on what is that, 10 meters. Let's check out that out. Oh, this is gonna be a monster storm, isn't it? Oh, I just updated it right now. Oh, we can't look at it. Let's check out the last update though. Oh my gosh, it's probably gonna be like a monster storm on the last update. Oh yeah, look at that storm, the GFS. Wowza, that's a huge storm. Wow, that's way over 100. That's over 110 miles an hour on 10 meters. Wow, wow, wow. That is a very big storm. That will devastate the North Carolina coast. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe if you're new, and I'll probably do another update this evening. Bye guys.